Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Nerd Paradise Podcast with me, Marky B, and your Sin of Evil,
Matthew.
And this is Harvey, your concerned citizen.
So, been a while since we did the last one. I think about 3 weeks, guys, right?
Almost a month, actually.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
By the way, I've been good. By the way, had I messed up the last one, I'd gone in a ditch somewhere by Matt. Anyways,
looks like we need a new Marky.
Oh well.
How have you been, Matt? How have you been?
It's been all right. Been having a good few weeks. Niagara Falls last week. No, well, not last week. 2 weeks ago, and 3 weeks ago after that was an anniversary date for me and my girlfriend.
Oh,
and we would have done this a week earlier, but I had work.
You also had a birthday.
And a birthday.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mark is now 22, and he's single, ladies.
Sure. Anyway, yes. But yeah, my work was not that good. We went to Brampton. If you don't know, Torontonians jokingly call this Bramladesh. If you don't know, you should visit there yourself and see why. But it's always a hard sell over there. They usually after the bids. I work at auction bio, by the way. After the bids, usually someone wants to try to haggle down still, even though they've already bid and all bids are final. But again, that's something for Matt's Stupid People segment.
Yes, well, we'll save that for later. This week we'll be doing other segments.
Yes. So the starting segment, I think we'll go on with something new. Something that I thought up just on the spot recently.
You know, technically, since we haven't been doing this for so long, everything's kind of new.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
After the fourth take of me screwing up our intro.
Fifth.
Anyways, on our way to the next segment. It's a new one. Yes, drumroll please. I won't do it. Anyway, so our next new segment is This Week in Nerd
Culture.
Now, basically in this segment we go on with the highlights and the lowlights of nerd culture and what's happening in today and other things in the world.
Considering it's been a while since the last podcast, this may be more than a week's worth of news, though, so bear in mind. Normally we'll try and keep it within a week.
I have a lot.
Yeah.
One of them involves Twitter. But yes, I'll start off with a high note.
Which links to our Twitter accounts shall be provided.
Yes. Which starts off with my first one. If you guys haven't noticed, but those who are Marvel fans and love the Marvel games, and for one, a classic that will be returning again, The Amazing Spider-Man. It's a really good game. I played it for the PlayStation, and it was really good. I enjoyed it very much so, especially the line with Venom surfing the web. Surf the web, surf the web, surf the web. But yeah, this news though, what I've heard lately is a new playable character that's never been done before in the Marvel games. You guys might like it. Basically, the one who's been Harv.
Yeah.
Little trivia for you. Who's the most cameoed person in the Marvel movies?
Why, it would have to be the creator and fourth wall breaker himself, the great Stan Lee.
Well, guess what? He will be a playable character in the next Amazing Spider-Man game.
Excelsior!
I don't know how that's going to work, but it's a good thing. I mean, why not him cameo in his own game? He's already cameoed in his own anime. I mean,
hey, if you ever woke up one day and thought, I wonder what it would be like if I went around town fighting crime if I were Stan Lee. Well, your dreams can be realized.
I mean,
now, if he turns into the Hulk, will that be a Simpsons reference?
I don't know. But
more about that later.
I do not know, however, if this will be DLC or not, but time will tell. Time will tell.
Well, with the Spider-Man games, if they continue their current way, it probably will be an unlockable, because everything in the Spider-Man games, extras have just been unlockables.
Yes, but in the new ones now, with the whole DLC stuff, everyone's going DLC with stuff.
not everyone, and DLC was around during the Spider-Man 2 and 3 games, and none of that stuff was DLC, and none of the stuff in the current Spider-Man games, that one with the 4 Spider-Man and the one where you played in the city with covered in symbiotes, none of those have DLC. All of it was unlockable.
Okay. I don't remember any of that, though. I do remember, because the last Spider-Man game I've played was on the PlayStation. The PlayStation 2. The one I just described before, with the whole Venom and Carnage stuff.
Well, I've played most of the Spider-Man games, including the movie ones, which honestly are a lot more entertaining than actually watching the movies.
I'd have to second that. Yeah. No, I've never played that.
No, the first movie was decent, and the first game was not good. But then it switched around. The movies got worse and the games got better, thanks to the open-ended city and just how large they made New York feel.
So yeah, a little change from our usual bash on whatever is in the world, but we'll go back to that soon.
Yeah. In some gaming news, RPG fans and Space Age fans rejoice because Mass Effect 3 has just launched, and it really has. People are losing their minds over this game. I gotta say, I only played up to the first game. I wanted to check the second one, but I'm excited about this.
I'm sure some Xenophiles are also very excited about this.
Mark, let's keep it PG.
When have we been PG since the last 2 episodes?
Okay, we haven't been, but anybody interested in the Mass Effect games will probably already know about this, so we don't have to go into detail.
Yes, go on. No.
But
blue boobies.
Yeah, blue boobies.
But about the games, I mean, the story's great, and you just love to follow Shepard's story, and even the side characters are well made, and all of them have their own little bits. After all, every character has their own character mission in all the games.
Yeah, I've got to say, for these games, almost all of the characters have a really good voice acting part. The whole part of it there.
From what I'm hearing, though, I haven't heard any of the actual storyline, but which is always a key for me. But what I've seen, the gameplay, the graphics look nice, the designs look awesome, the gameplay I'm pretty sure is going to be great. The voice acting from your perspective, I think is going to be good. You always had good taste in that.
They've always done a good job. I mean, all the characters have strong, distinctive voices. You know what's going on. Even in a battle, you can tell the voices apart from the various voices of enemies you're fighting. It's not like some generic single voice actor just being either auto-tuned or just using various pitches of his voice. They actually have a full-on cast.
Mm-hmm. It's very nice to actually see that, because there's commitment and there's expression, and even just with the voices, if you only heard about it and saw very little of the graphic, it actually fleshes it out. It gives the characters actual personality. It's great. It's a
the
really
amount
good
of
example.
the things that have become internet memes, like from the first game, you have Rex and Shepard's little exchanges, and like Rex had some of the best lines. Some of them were kind of dark, but he's an old warrior. It's that kind of thing.
But other than that, I'm excited for it.
It's the last game, of course, and you're going to be finishing it off, but...
Well, Halo said they were going to be ending after the third one, but what happened to that?
No. Halo said that they were going to be ending the current trilogy. They were in no way promising that they were not going to continue making Halo games.
I don't know, Legends was kind of...
Yeah, well, still, they made no promise saying that they wouldn't stop making Halo games. I mean, after all, they made Reach and other spin-off titles. There was always room for more, and people always want to see more Master Chief because, I mean, the guy's a badass.
So I guess we're always going to be hailing to the Chief?
We must.
It's never going to end?
But, unfortunately, you mix references there, because Hail to the Chief is Duke Nukem. And let's not talk about his last game, please. He deserved better.
The guy probably went crazy. Wait that long for your game to come out, and of course shit's gonna hit the fan.
Oh, we have someone who's not very happy about that.
Well, they weren't. It wasn't a good game, but
I can't tell anyone who's happy about it.
We're doing with current news, not old stuff.
Yes. Continue on. I believe Matt's turn right now.
Well, another big thing that was announced this week was the release date for Assassin's Creed 3, which is October 31st, Halloween, of course. Anyone that doesn't know that has been living under a rock.
Or isn't in North America?
No, Halloween's celebrated in most parts of the world these days, actually.
Sweet. Go candy and costumes.
Yeah. No, it's just to varying
Drunk
degrees it's celebrated, but overall it's the same idea as you dress up and get candy. It's been adopted to most of the world.
Mm-hmm. And after a certain age, you hang out with people, eat candy that you actually bought instead of went and got, and you get wasted.
Yes. But I find you don't need a reason to get wasted.
No, not at all.
It helps, but...
It's more fun to be wasted Robin Hood than wasted yourself, I find.
Yes. Well, I was wasted Batman this year.
You kind of have to get drunk if you're running around in tights in Forest Green, I think.
Yes, I was wasted Batman hanging out with the cast of Todd and the Book of Pure Evil.
And I was a...
And then I got mugged.
Oh, right. Well, but that's a different tale for another time.
Yes, that is when we talk about legendary feats that we have committed.
We might have to actually flesh that list out by the time we have that, that area there.
Yes. But yeah, so Assassin's Creed has been announced. The final game in that series, number 3.
Oh my god. I've been discussing with Matt about this earlier, and I don't know. I'm a bit iffy with the new storyline, what they're going to be doing for this new game.
I personally think that it's the logical conclusion, because in the end they had to find a way to bring Desmond's family to North America, and they had to choose an event that could showcase their being an assassin and give reason for it, without it being over the top, and without them going too far into the future. And they needed an event that brought it out, and their choices for North America were kind of limited to one of the 3 major wars. Either you had the American Revolution, the War of 1812, or the Civil War. 1812 and the Civil War, you would be dealing with too much guns, and they still wanted blade combat.
Also, if this is America, they're not going to admit that it was a tie in the War of 1812. Not saying anything.
Yes.
But
thank you, arrogant worms.
Yes, but either way, they chose the right event, and I feel that it's going to work story-wise, because you have the British, who obviously are connected to the Templar. I mean, they've got the red, most of their stuff has got a cross on it, and you've got the Americans, most of which, the leaders of the revolution were identified as Freemasons.
Well, supposed Freemasons. But I get the point. This is where I start to agree. The fact that when they start going into the Freemasonry and stuff like that, that's
which
where I'm
willing to bet Freemasons will be classified as assassins and or assassin allies.
Yes. Which, by the way, who wouldn't want to have Ben Franklin as your inventor?
Yeah, Ben Franklin or John Hancock, who was in fact a steelsmith.
Yes, he was. So,
and had great penmanship. I mean, hey.
Well, that or just was overcompensating for something. Hint, hint. Oh. Nudge, nudge.
Well, he was good working with metal. He's got to have something to put his hands on.
Oh.
Yeah, but come on with a last name like that.
Anyways, moving on.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was our portion of immature humor.
Moving
portion, right. You say that like it's going to end.
Moving right along. So, we've been talking about a lot of highlights. How about some lowlights, guys?
Lowlights in nerd culture this week.
Well, this is not really nerd culture, but I know for Twitter and Twitter fights, because if you haven't seen lately, and I'm the biggest wrestling nerd of all, but it's been very prevalent in wrestling, but to see someone bicker over Twitter is just But
Mark, that's nothing new. People bicker over Twitter all the time.
Yeah, but it's just I don't understand why.
It's always going to happen. Go to almost any board that posts pictures and stuff, and there's going to be tons and tons of stuff to do with people being stupid or bickering on Twitter over pointless stuff. And in the end, it's just another outlet that people use to show off their opinions on stuff, and there's always going to be somebody that disagrees with your opinion, And that's just going to start a fight.
Exactly. That's why we started this podcast in the first place.
Yeah.
But here's where it starts to get twisted, because the newest Twitter fight that's going around, and it's on TMZ and stuff like that, but I don't really watch TMZ. I found this out through another podcast. But Chris Brown, that woman beater that he is, took to Twitter, and because of one comment from a wrestler, aka CM Punk, Mr. Straight Edge. Here's where it gets twisted. CM Punk starts calling out, basically after, I believe it was the Grammys that Chris Brown was on.
He performed twice at the Grammys.
Anyways,
let me clear this up right now. Once a woman beater, always a woman beater. And I don't even get started on his fans, because I am saving that for my stupid people.
Oh, watch what I'm going to say next, Matt, because watch. Later on.
Team Breezy. Dear God, those people need to die in a fire.
Anyways, back to this
Calming down.
Twitter fight. Twitter fight.
Twitter twats.
Yes, Twitter twats. So CM Punk goes on to say how he'd like to wring Chris Brown's neck for hitting a woman, and basically all the stuff he's done with Rihanna and stuff like that. And basically here is Chris Brown's retort. By the way, I'd like to state the fact that nowadays with wrestlers, they're not all on roids, and they don't look the way they aren't like huge bound guys anymore. They're really actually tinier guys.
John Cena is the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, but he's
old news anyways, but still, people are going to think of John Cena because he was one of the more famous ones.
Yes, but with CM Punk, his whole thing is he's straight edge. He's never done drugs. He's never had an ounce of alcohol in his system. Never has and never will be. Even people in the industry will approve to that, and people who outside of the industry who know him know that he isn't like that. He's fully straight edge. However, Chris Brown goes on to say something about Punk and him not being able to please women because he's too much on roids, and you know the whole thing about roids and small penis issues. But yeah, and he goes on.
Well, the fact of the matter is that if you have to beat a woman, just how small is your junk, Chris Brown?
Exactly my point.
Okay. No, I don't even want to get into like dick jokes about it. The fact of the matter is,
it's still a bad thing.
Spousal abuse is horrible, and there's never an excuse.
And the fact of the matter that Rihanna is associating with this man still, and there are rumors that they're getting back together, just shows how dumb she is.
Okay, let's not get into that either, because that's a whole other can of worms, and it
is, but it's still a stupid decision. I'm not saying that she is an overall stupid person, but that in itself is a stupid decision to go back to the person that sent you to the hospital.
It's not smart, but it's very typical of abuse victims.
Yes, but I'm putting it in a different category to my regular stupid people thing. I'm not calling her out on that. I'm just calling out that it's a stupid decision that happens, but really shouldn't.
I think it's something that will end badly, and that's
always will, always does.
Anyways,
I got nothing good to say about Chris Brown.
No, and the fact that he has such a large fan base just scares me.
Those
people I will target
now, Matt,
with every possible iota of my soul.
This is where his fans come in.
They always do.
Recently, Punk has been on a couple of radio shows to promote WrestleMania, and basically this radio host wanted to get into his little Twitter feud with Chris Brown. They opened the phone line, just the worst mistake in.
Yeah, you don't do that if you're going to mention a celebrity that's got a crazy fan base, okay?
Basically, and it's what blows my mind. They're women. They're women.
Yeah, well, I'm going to mention this now, but I'm saving most of it for my segment. We're women during the Grammys that are constantly tweeting that just because Chris Brown is rich and good looking, that they would want him to beat them.
Oh,
okay?
God.
Ranging from teenagers to up to 40-somethings saying this.
Jeez, stupid
people. Okay?
Why do I even leave my house in the morning? Why?
Again, beating a woman, that's not a subject I want to touch upon, but the fact of the matter is that these women are taking it so lightly is what pisses me off.
This should not at all be celebrated. I take full support of Lacey Green and her efforts and her shedding light on this and her take on this. Yes, it's a patriarchal society issue that this is at all being diminished and that putting onus on the victim. No, fuck that.
Every single tweet by these fans is another stab towards women's rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Anyways.
Okay. These are the kind of people that, as George Carlin put it, should be thrown into volcanoes. May the man rest in peace.
And for someone who...
I believe he's screaming up at us.
For a person like me who believes everyone has an equal share in other things, I have to agree with that. Because, honestly, people are being retarded nowadays. I don't even... Again, I don't know how I leave my house in the morning.
don't want to wish upon any of these women that they experience something like this, but... Honestly...
You reap what you sow.
Yeah, honestly, thinking logically, I believe that maybe the only way they're going to realize just how bad Rihanna had it. And Rihanna's not helping things by the rumors that she's trying to get back with him.
I really hope she doesn't.
We'll see. I mean, hopefully her publicists are smart enough to keep them apart.
We've
just
already been
keep away from the public backlash.
We've already been through one death in music industry. We don't need another one.
Yes.
And through the same.
But let's not go into music industry deaths because I've got my own opinion on that. I don't want to go into now.
But moving on,
we have strayed a bit from our
another low light, low light, guys.
All right, low light in nerd culture this past few weeks. Let's see, what would be a good one? Anything, guys?
I don't know a whole lot of recent things, but I do have some.
I can't think of anything really low that's happened recently that can really be talked about en masse. I mean, lately things have been going fairly well for us.
Yes.
Like, good games are being announced and released. New information on games that are going to be released is being released. I mean, the new Pokemon games have been announced.
Gotta talk on that though, because that is a highlight. Sorry, we're mishing-mashing here. But another highlight though. This announced recently. Pokemon fans, you're gonna love this. And Matt just recently told me about this too, which is I believe is still a rumor, but
but Nintendo does like doing these kind of things.
Yes.
As you may know, Pokemon Black and White 2 are coming out. The first official sequels in the Pokemon games, not counting spin-offs. These are official sequels to the handheld games. No word yet on how that's going to work. I will love to see how they work it in. But they also have announced another game in the Pokemon series, which Mark is very passionate about.
Nobunaga's Ambition, which is an old school game that surprisingly I haven't played yet. But I've always been a fan of the turn-based tactical strategy games. Nobunaga's Ambition is really an old classic. I've never really played it, but it is an old classic.
You could probably find it on various networks, or just online in general.
Yeah.
I believe right now, because of the release of the Pokemon game, the Nobunaga games have currently been uploaded onto iTunes in Japan for the iPhones and iPads.
Yes,
but have yet to be released in English.
If you haven't noticed yet, but the Nobunaga Ambition games are now going to be...
I'm confused. Are these games going to be on the DS, or are they going to be mobile games?
Which one? Nobunaga's?
The Nobunaga.
The Nobunaga classic games have been announced that they are released on iTunes as iTunes downloads onto your phones and other devices.
Because originally it was a Sega game.
Yeah, they were Sega games, and Sega has released most of their games onto iTunes. So most of the Sonic games are on there.
Which, by the way, Sega, I have to say, has always done good in the turn-based strategy tactical games. For the fact
Sega makes decent games most of the time. They're never really huge award winners, but they're fun to play always.
Like the first tactical game I've ever played was Shining Force, and it was really good. I enjoyed it so much. Then they came out with the other Shining Force games, but that's going on to a different subject.
We're going on to a tangent, back to Pokemon. So they're releasing...
They will... Well, if you haven't noticed yet, the reason why we're talking about Nobunaga's Ambition is because they're going to intertwine it with Pokemon. which is, if you haven't seen the trailers, it looks really good. It looks awesome.
It looks like a really good turn-based strategy, and if it's really as fleshed out as it looks per the trailers, it's going to be a really fun game.
Unlike the regular Pokemon games you're used to, it's a real-time, or not real-time, but a turn-based strategy, more open concept, and it takes place in feudal Japan. It's not the whole modern day.
No Pokeballs, guys, unless they somehow show
Well,
that.
no, from the looks of it, most of the time Pokemon are just going to be like in most turn-based strategy games, recruited to your teams.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Also, not only will the Pokemon evolve, I heard this recently. Not only will the Pokemon evolve, but also the human characters that go along with the game will also evolve as well.
Or in other words, they will age.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, the Eevee character, if you haven't seen him yet, will evolve into either...
his appearance shall change,
will
and he
change.
shall grow older to reflect what your Eevee evolves into.
Yes.
Okay.
Again, I'm really excited for this game. This will be really good.
And I'm willing to bet that any changes to the characters will affect their statistics.
Yes. But moving
on to the core of this game is rumored that shall be bundled together with Black and White 2 upon its English release. Not the Japanese release, for the simple fact that the Japanese release of the Nobunaga game has already happened as of last week.
Yes.
And Pokemon Black and White 2 are not being released until later this spring in Japan, while here both games in North America are scheduled for release in the fall. So rumors are spreading that they may be released as a pair. You can get Black 2 with Nobunaga or White 2 with Nobunaga. Obviously, two separate DS cartridges.
Yes.
Expect prices to range between $60 to $70, of course.
And I'm sure they're going to start doing a whole C gear for that as well. Like a C gear downloadable stuff.
Yes. And speaking of downloadables, keep an eye out for further downloads, because chances are once Nobunaga has been released, they shall release the Black Rayquaza from that game.
Well, for those who have the Japanese game.
Once it's been released in English, they'll probably release that one here too.
Which I'm pretty excited for as well.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure it's just going to be for Black and White 2 as well.
Yeah, well, more news about those games as time passes, and we shall keep you updated as well.
So, yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
More or less. I have a bit of a low light that is... It's not at all recent, but it's something that I've noticed it's something a little near and dear to me.
If it's within 2012, it's recent.
Yeah.
No, this has been happening for a bit over a year.
Well,
I can't exactly call myself an MMO junkie, but there have been times when this has been more than accurate. I've played a fair share of the games. I used to play World of Warcraft. My favorite one that I've played was Warcraft Online: Age of Reckoning. This is a game by EA Mythic, and in the past year and a half especially, it's just been declining and declining. There have been fewer subscribers, and just because the EA released it a long time before it was actually ready, and so there are a lot of bugs to it, and they took a long time fixing it, and so over time they just pretty much gave up on the game, just left it on the back burner. They've started another game now that's a lot like League of Legends, just a little less extensive. I've played it so far, and it's pretty fun.
I've played it too.
Yeah, it's
just a lot of shit talkers on them.
It's like League of Legends, but it's flavored with the old school Warhammer lore.
Yeah.
But they've pretty much given up on Age of
like
Reckoning.
Dota then, because Dota is technically based off Warhammer stuff.
It is.
Yes, to a degree, yes. But so yes, this game has been going further and further down. There have been other games I've liked, but nothing that I've come back to as much as I have Warhammer Online, and it's just sad to see it go. That's about my piece on it for now.
Well, a lot of MMOs are now dying.
Yeah, well, a lot of MMOs from the past 5 years are slowly going down just because much newer MMOs are being far more popular and people are putting a lot more effort into them.
Yes, even with the free MMOs, most of them are dying. Like, I remember when I was in high school, I was playing Ragnarok online, and everyone was playing. Everyone that I knew that was I was talking to in grade, I think it was grade 9 or 10.
10.
Yes.
Even I played a bit of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I didn't get really into it though.
No, but my best friend was really into it, and he got me into it, and it was really fun. Nowadays it's just dying out. Which, by the way, I haven't. For the next segment, we will talk about that. By the way, it's rated R, so little children should not listen to the next part when that comes.
Oh, I remember. Yes. We'll get on to that.
Yeah.
We'll get on to that. Maybe not tonight. We have other segments that we would like to get to.
Yes.
And a big segment concerning The Simpsons.
Yes. So, now we're going.
We're going to take a break now. And
we'll take a break.
Shall return in a little while to continue our part. See you in part 2 of this, as usual, possibly 3-part series.
I gotta go visit the little boy's room. See ya.